This is John Nord. I'm gonna blue some Spurs and a belt buckle today, and I thought I would do a little video on how I do it. This is my burner setup, and it's got dual burners, and I got a propane tank right here. It's all hooked up, and we'll get the other pots out here and get them filled up, and I'll show y'all how I do that. 1 5-gallon pot here. It's just for water rinse. We heat this up so if we have to add water to the salt, it's not cold. It'll be about the same temperature as the salt, and then when you put it in there, it won't make the salt boil over or start splattering at you. So we heat a gallon, maybe 2 gallons of distilled water in another pot beside our salt and get it to boiling, and then once it boils, we'll put a lid on it and turn the fire down just so it's close to boiling all the time. And also this will serve to rinse our Spurs in it and our buckle. This is the salt bucket. It's a stainless pot, 5-gallon. I've got my temperature gauge from Brunel's right here, Brunel's, and that black dot there is where we'll get the salt to. It should boil there, and that way it'll be at the right temperature to blue the Spurs. And that boiling temperature there can be raised or lowered by how much water is added to the salt, and you'll see how that works. Give you a little hint here. Just polish this buckle, and it's a nickel backed buckle overlaid with steel and then sterling silver. And when you polish these, black gets into the crevices of everything like that, you can see, and you want to get that out before you blue it. So I use WD-40, and I just spray it on there, and you start scrubbing it, and you'll see the black coming out. So I'm going to finish scrubbing this, and then we'll take it over to the Dawn bath, and I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, this is what I mean by the Dawn bath. I use Dawn detergent and a toothbrush, and I'll scrub these Spurs and the buckle, and I've already scrubbed the keeper, and I'll do all that in this water and the Dawn, and I'll sit here and just scrub it. I don't have running water out here where I'm doing this, so I use just a pot of water, and then I'll towel dry it off with these blue towels, and we'll be ready to put them in the blue. But I'm gonna start the fire out here and get this stuff going, because it takes a while for this stuff to heat up. There we're going. And we're going there. So this temperature will rise, and when we get on up there, we have to get, like I say, to that black mark there before we can blue them, and we may have to add water. To raise the boiling point of the solution, you add salt. To lower the boiling point of the solution, you add water. And the optimum point is that black dot. It's boiling at that black dot, or within just a few degrees. So we'll see where we get here in a minute. Okay, I was going to show y'all, this is the salt I'm using, Brunel's Oxonate number 7. It's fairly expensive, and a lot of guys make their own salts. I haven't done that yet, But this works real well. I've only blued with this, is all I've ever used. Everything's sitting here waiting to go in, and I'm still waiting on the temperatures. You can see we're not boiling, and we're at about, I don't know, 270, I think. So I'm probably gonna have to add water to this because it's probably not gonna boil for a while. I haven't added any water to it yet because I'm low on salt, and if I get too much water in it, then I can't bring it back into the perimeter. And over here we have our hot water that we can add in our dipper. And it's real dangerous to add cold water to those salts, so you always have a pot of hot water to put hot water in it. So we'll let it come up a little bit more, and then we'll start bluing. Okay, we're boiling right on the money. So we're gonna put some items in here. Okay, I got my Spurs on a hanger, and in they go. We'll let them sit in there. Probably take them out here in a few minutes, check them, and then we'll put them over here in rinse water, and we'll put them back in again. Brown them for a total of about 15 minutes. Okay, we've left them in here just a few minutes, and we can check them, see how they're looking. They are bluing. They're not near there yet. Spurs are too. And we'll take them out and rinse them here in a second, and then we'll put them back in. We'll see how they're doing. Ignore it again. The spurs and the buckles, as you saw, came out real pretty. And what I do from there is I take them over and I hang them up somewhere above a pan, and I spray them down with WD-40, and I let them set 24 hours. And that just makes sure all the water's off of them and prepares them. It kind of neutralizes the acids and everything, and disperses the water. That's what it is the water dispersant, WD-40. And then after they've hung about 24 hours, I'll clean them up, and sometimes I'll apply some wax to them, like a Renaissance wax, and sometimes I just leave them alone and keep them lightly oiled, or just buff them up. One thing I didn't say in the video though was the mixture. When you buy the Brownell's Oxygenate 7, it comes with instructions on how many pounds of salt to put with how many pounds or how much water, and that's a starting point. And then that boiling point, whether you add a little water or take away a little, or add a little salt to get the boiling point at the right mark on the thermometer. And I kept pointing to the black mark on the thermometer. There's a mark a couple of degrees above that where Brownell's recommends bluing, but me and friends of mine, we boil at that black point. We blue at that black point, and a little bit under that sometimes, and it still works fine. So be real careful though with it all. Thanks for tuning in.